Good morning. Today's class is on financing dental care. It's nothing but practice management in financing dental care. Learning outcomes. At the end of lecture, the student should be able to identify the methods of payment, compare the advantages, disadvantages of the different methods of payment, dental insurance in Malaysia, dental payments in Malaysian government dental clinics, introduction. There is no such thing as a free treatment. Traditional fee for service healthcare may become compromised because of escalation of healthcare costs. Nations, MNCs, and employers are finding it increasingly difficult to fund the healthcare. As a professionals, we have to be clear to patients about costs for service rendered. Mechanism of payment for dental care. First one is private fee for service. Second is post payment plans. Third is private third party prepayments, which includes commercial insurance companies, non-profit health service corporation. In that, Delta Dental Plans and Blue Cross or Blue Shield, then prepaid group practice, then capitation plans, then other public programs. Coming to the first one, private fee for service, that's what we are following. This is the traditional form of reimbursement for dental services in most of the countries. It's two-party arrangement. One is patient and another is dentist. The advantage is culturally acceptable. Yes, most of the people will accept. All the countries accept this private fee for service. Then flexibility. Sometimes the dentist may charge less for some people depending on their financial capacity. Then administratively simple. Yes, like one-to-one conversation. Sometime patient will bargain for treatment. Sometime dentist will agree for the bargain, or sometime he will tell, no, you have to pay this much, like that. Then can be used in expensive situation. The disadvantage of this service is patient unable to receive dental care if only private fee for service is the only option available. For example, if the treatment charges are very high, like for orthodontic treatment in Malaysia, in some clinics they will charge more than 10,000 ringgit, which was very high. So in that case, they have to take, like some people have to take loan from other companies to reimburse this one or to pay the fee for service. So in that cases, this mechanism won't work. That is the main disadvantage of private fee for service. The second one is post payment and budget plans. First started in late 1930 through the Organized Dental Society planned by local dental societies in Pennsylvania and Michigan. Its mechanism is the individual purchase the service, payments made at intervals over time period. Under budget payment plans, patients borrow money from the bank or finance company, which will be paid to the dentist for his service care made. Application approved by lending institution. Money paid to the dentist with less, that is discount charge. Then patient repays to the loan to the bank. So this is the mechanism in the post payment plan. Coming to the advantages, primarily used by middle income people, then the low income people. Primarily used to finance prosthetic treatment. Disadvantages, lower income people can't use this. problem of defaulters. I think you will be knowing what is defaulters or who is defaulter. For example, if you are unable to pay loan, then that loan amount the bank will call as non-performing asset, and the person who is not paying the loan is called defaulter. Some 90 days time will be there. Within that time, if you are not paying, then that person, the bank will name as that person as a defaulter. So coming to dental insurance, I think you will be knowing. First part is the dentist, second part is the patient, third part is the insurance company. Private third-party payment plans. Third-party payments, payment for service by some agency rather than directly by the beneficiary of those services, also called as public financing of dental care. Third party, the party to a dental prepayment contract, they may collect premiums, assume financial risk, pay claims, and provide administrative service. Purchase of plan can be from organized private group, example union employees, union employers, welfare fund, or public agencies of federal. Reimbursement of dentist in prepayment plans. How the dentist will get money for whatever treatment provided. It's usual fee. Usual fee means, I will explain you in the next slide. There are different types of reimbursement. First is usual fee, then customary fee, then table of allowances, then fee schedules, then capital. Coming to usual fee, the fee that individual dentist charges for a given dental services. It's a normal fee. For example, amalgam restoration. In our college, we are charging 30 ringgits. That is the usual fee. Customary fee, it is the range of usual fee charged by dentist of similar experience and training for service in specific and limited geographic location. That means in Penang, for amalgam restoration, we are charging 30 ringgit. But in Kuala Lumpur, they may charge 50 ringgit. So it depends on the geographic location. Table of allowance has a list of services covered, and each service is assigned a sum that represent each service. This assigned sum not necessarily represent a dentist's full fees for his service. I hope you understood what is table of allowance. Fee schedules, fixed maximum amount of allowance for a dental procedures that apply under a specific contract and makes the full payment. Disadvantages, potentially inflexibility, that is less than customary fees, difference in treatment and charges, coming to the last one, capitation fee, that is fixed monthly or yearly payments we have to pay. Like if you are taking service from the dentist, before starting the service, you have to pay fixed monthly or yearly payments paid by the carrier to the dentist for treatment. Disadvantage is fear of overutilization. For example, if you are paying, there is a group of 10 members, they are monthly paying some 50 ringgit towards the insurance. So the overall insured amount will be some 10,000. But in out of 10 people, if 2 people are only utilizing that all the 10,000 ringgit, then other 8 will have shortage. So fear of overutilization. One will be utilizing more, other will be utilizing less. Or at the end, if these 2% able to, like if they finish all the 10,000 ringgit, whatever it's insured amount, then other 8 will don't have chance for using capitation fees. So this is the major disadvantage of capitation fees. Demand for expensive treatment, the insured amount is only 10,000 ringgit, and if other patient coming and demanding for the expensive treatment which costs around 8,000 ringgit, then it's problematic. Different ways an insurance carrier works. Patient pays part of the cost of services, uses economic disincentive to overutilization of service, payments either by deductible or flat sum paid, co-insurance are paid in percentages, limitations of benefits like provides plans for group. Third party fees is Rs80. From patient they will collect 20. Dentist fees is Rs100. That means insurance will pay 80%, and the patient have to pay 20%, so that it will both, when you sum up this both insurance plus patient paying, then it will give 100% to the dentist. In other sense, you can tell if patient is charging 100, if dentist is charging 100 ringgit, patient has to pay 20 ringgit, insurance will pay 80 ringgit. Commercial insurance plan. The features of commercial insurance plans are like charges high premium allowing bigger profit margin, very selective about the group selection for dental, insurance claims no obligation towards the dental health of the patient, specific cash payments made directly to patients of the dentist through the patient. Most cases dentists do not file the UCR fees, do not conduct free audits, fee audits and post-treatment dental checkups. Fee audit means there will be some observatory body which will audit whatever treatment is given is good or not, whether the dentist is charging properly for the treatment or not. Sometimes dentist may charge higher fees, so there will be some group of people who will audit the clinics. Come to Delta Dental. Delta Dental Plans are Dental Services Corporation. They are non-profitable health service corporation. Delta Dental Premier Dentist agreed to abide by dental determination of fees. When patient visits a Delta Dental Premier Dentist, we ensure that you pay no more than the co-insurer percentage specified by your coverage. Delta Dental Premier is our largest dentist network. Legal constituted non-profitable organization, started as National Association of Dental Service Plans. Name changed to Delta Dental Plan Association, April 1960. Members: Board of Directors, that is dentist, representative of Board of Finance, insurance, labor, consumer groups. Advantages of dental plans: control of cost, quality assurance procedure, no need to pay extra, thereby encourages regular attendance, maintains good dental health of the society by various services. So Delta Dental Plan, there will be some, like some dentists will agree for the dental plan. They are called participating dentist, and some they are not in the dental plans. They are called non-participating dentist. Participating dentist is any duly licensed dentist with whom Delta Dental Plan has a contractual agreement to render care to covered subscribers. So reimbursement of dentist. The dentists who are participating in the dental plan, they can pre-file of their usual and customary fee, payments at 90%, percentile, here it's not percent, it's percentile, and conducts audits, post-treatment checkups will be done, withhold some money goes to Delta Dental capital or reserve fund. But those who are non-practicing dentists, pre-filing of their usual and customary fee not necessary, but in participating dentist it's necessary. Then payments at 50th percentile, but in the participating dentist 90th percentile. Conducts audits, here also they will conduct. Post-treatment checkups, yes, in the both participating and non-participating dentist there will be post-treatment checkups. Then withhold some money, here also they are withholding, and goes to Delta Dental Plan reserve fund. The only difference is payment is at 50th percentile, here it is 90th percentile, and pre-filing of their usual and customary fee not allowed for the non-participating dentist, but for the participating dentist it is allowed, and also 90th percentile. So most of the dentists prefer Delta Dental Plan because nowadays you can see most of the clinics are like they don't have patients. So if you are under some things like this kind of plans, Delta Dental plans, you will be having patients. So it's better to work under these kind of things in the beginning. Coming to Blue Cross Health Service Corporation, Blue Shield offers limited dental coverage as part of medical, surgical and hospital policies. Has similar cost control features pioneered by Delta Dental plans. Dental coverages are limited to services provided in the hospital. It does not put its hand into dental prepayment. Prepaid group practice. Net income in a group is divided equally and paid according to patient load, years of service, specialty status, advantages, multi-speciality, can enjoy vacation leaves in case of illness, quality will improve because of built-in peer review, financial benefit like sick leave and pension. Malaysian oral healthcare financing system. Oral healthcare in the private sector is largely on fee-for-service basis in Malaysia. Although the Malaysian Dental Association issues a dental fee schedule for private practitioners, private dental charges are very much dependent on market forces. There are few third-party payment schemes. There is no national health insurance scheme yet in place. Oral healthcare in the public sector is largely subsidized by government. Malaysian oral healthcare financing system in the public sector, preschool children, school children up to age 17 years, antenatal mothers and civil servants, their spouses, school-going dependents below the age of 21 years are entitled for free basic oral health care at public sector facilities. Other groups also entitled to free basic care are the physical, mental and economically disadvantaged groups. Malaysian oral healthcare financing system includes basic care includes examination and diagnosis, fissure sealants for children where necessary, restorations with amalgam, resin material or glass ionomer cements, extraction, prophylaxis and radiograph. For civil servants and their dependents, this entitlement extends to orthodontics and periodontal services. Basic care does not extend to dentures and other related prostheses. Denture costs at public facilities, however, are heavily subsidized. All members of the public, regardless of income or economic means, may also access public sector facility at highly subsidized rates. Those with proof of economic disadvantages may also be granted exemption to pay on the discretion of public sector dentist. Dental charges for services at public facilities under the Medical Fees Act 1982 are currently being reviewed. In the last 3 decades, Malaysia has been considering and reviewing various healthcare financing mechanisms. Any scholar or well-informed citizen of Malaysia will agree that Malaysia healthcare system need to be restructured to ensure an integrated healthcare delivery system that is responsive, provides choice of quality healthcare while ensuring universal coverage for the healthcare needs of the population, that is affordable, sustainable, putting in place effective safety net measures. Government resources for the healthcare is scarce and increasing out-of-pocket healthcare expenditure is unavoidable. Under current healthcare financing system, which is unhealthy and may be disastrous for the country's healthcare system. This is the financial structure in the country, like we will pay taxes, then some amount from the employees provident fund, then SOCSO contribution, that is social security or social security organization. So from the population, government will collect the tax and also EPF contribution, also the social security. Then the people also pay some of the amount to the insurance. Some people will go for the dental insurance and most of them will go for out-of-pocket expenses. So this is how the fees or the charges for the treatment is done. This upper three, government or EPF or SOCSO, this will go for public sector treatment charges. The only out-of-pocket expenses will go for private healthcare. Those people will get treatment from the private dental clinics. Government initiatives. National Health Insurance Scheme of Malaysia was proposed National Health Financing Study by Westinghouse in 1984-1985. The study recommended the establishment of National Health Financing Scheme backed by National Health Security Fund to finance all healthcare costs both in the public and private health sectors. National Health Security Fund by Birch and Davis in 1987 and 1989. National Health Plan Study 1989 and 1990 was conducted by British consultant group to study the feasible structure of the national health insurance proposed earlier. National Household Health Expenditure Study, the NHHES, also revealed that heavy out-of-pocket expenditure by consumers, which would be put to be better use if healthcare financing scheme was in place. In 1996-97, Rashid Hussain, Professor William commissioned for General Hospital corporatization. 5 services were corporatized. Insurgers like Malaysian healthcare deliveries and financing system in 2000. One Care concept paper was presented in August 2009. Dental treatment charges in government dental clinics. The healthcare cost in government dental clinics for the citizens of Malaysia is generally through the health subsidy. In Malaysia, the health subsidies is at 98%, which means 98% of the health cost for every patient is borne by government. But for the non-Malaysian, there is no subsidy. Healthcare insurance costs in recent years for private treatment in Malaysia have been rising for several reasons. Also due to new advanced medicine and equipment costs being introduced to keep up the international standards, private hospitals have difficulty funding these expenses. To stem the rise of costs in both public and private clinics, a bundle system has been to include the expenditure for entire treatment cycle. Dental insurance in Malaysia. Dental insurance like CHUBB Dental Care is the first standalone dental plan in Malaysia. The dental care is available in 4 different options to cater to varying coverage and budget needs. Individuals between the ages of 18 to 60 years old are eligible to enroll, and policy is renewable up to the age of 65 years. Then Medident, Malaysia's very first premium dental health insurance scheme in collaboration with Universal Medident. With this collaboration created plans to suit patients' personal or corporate needs. Then Tune Dental Insurance. This policy covers filling, extraction, pulp capping, fissure sealant, surgical removal, preventive oral care, dressing, X-ray of tooth, medication prescribed by dental surgeon, and root canal treatment. Most expensive treatment like orthodontics, most of the insurance company won't give insurance like insured amount for expensive treatment. You have to pay by out of pocket. That is the disadvantage of insurance. So surgical extraction, treatment of gum diseases, dentures, crown and bridges. See here, one note is there like platinum plan. Like those who are under platinum plan, they can receive this treatments, crowns, onlays, orthodontic implants. But platinum plan will be very high, like you have to pay more premiums. My question is, how many of you are having dental insurance? If you don't have, please go for dental insurance, because not only dental, for also the medical insurance. Because once, like if you, sorry, you should not meet with any accident, but in case in some things, like if you met with some accident, if you don't have insurance, you have to pay from your account or out of pocket expenses. It will be very expensive. So if you have insurance, means at least you can save some money and you can live the life happily without tension. Or else if you are earning 2000 ringgit per month, you have to keep minimum 300 ringgits for your health. So don't take chance. Have dental insurance as well as medical insurance. Thank you.